After studying 1,000 millionaires over 15 years in the financial industry, I discovered something that shattered my assumptions. They are not special at all. Let me explain, because in this video I will tell you the one thing you should start today that will make the difference between having money and staying stuck for the rest of your life. And it's simpler than you think. Because, to be honest, back then I was intrigued by millionaires, successful people who were making a shitload of money. In my eyes, they were successful. And to me, it looked they were a different breed, or something like that. And in case you don't know, I've helped thousands of investors build diversified portfolios to grow their wealth. So I've seen a lot of millionaires. And in the beginning, I always thought they had something that I didn't have, some special traits. I will tell you that I was totally wrong about this, and that this was the reason why I wasn't able to become successful back then. My whole life, I've carried fears around money. Deep down, I've been terrified that if I don't have enough money, that I won't be able to live life on my own terms. And that my older Maurice could not retire of this. And I think these fears started young watching my dad. He was incredibly hardworking, sold his company for millions of dollars at a young age. And you would think that this breakthrough would give him a lot of pride, happiness, and freedom, right? But no, he kept on working 80 hours a week, and he was constantly away from home, and despite his financial success, he wasn't truly happy. And what struck me the most was how little control he seemed to have over his own life. Even with a lot of money, he still was trapped in a cycle of endless work. And that pattern imprinted itself on me at a young age. So I was always looking for ways to get rid of those fears, because I thought, when I'm rich and I have a shitload of money, those fears will disappear and I will be happy, right? When I have the money, I will be free. And maybe you can relate, because now I can see this endless cycle of never having enough. And therefore, if you dive a little bit deeper, it has nothing to do with earning a lot of money. I think for me it was totally about freedom, that I can do the things I want whenever I want. But here's what I discovered about those millionaires. They all have the exact same inner critic we all do. The same voice saying, you are not good enough. You don't deserve this. You are going to fail. The only difference is the voice inside your head. And I found out that it is really important, because how do you respond to those voices inside your head? And a lot of people are not talking about this, because when you don't have money, you want money. But I learned that when you have money, what do you think will happen? Exactly. You are again afraid to lose it, to lose your freedom, to lose your happiness. So I think the biggest difference between being poor and having a lot of money is this. People with a lot of money ask different questions. Instead of, am I good enough? They ask, what can I learn from this? So they reframe failure. And instead of, I failed and I'm not cut out for this, they think, this didn't work out. What's the next approach? Or, I'm not there yet, instead of thinking, I'm a failure. So they act despite the fear they have inside their body. The fear is there, but they don't wait for it to disappear before they move forward. They learn they know how to cope with the unknown. So they focus on systems instead of outcomes. So instead of, I need to make X amount of dollars, they ask, what daily actions will build wealth and freedom? And this insight, this important insight, became crystal clear to me when I watched Ali Abdaal being coached by Joe Hudson. Here's someone who built a massively successful YouTube channel and earned millions of dollars. Yet, his biggest fear? Exactly. Losing his money and not being able to live life on his own terms. And when I was thinking about that, it hit me hard. Because I've seen this pattern with successful clients as well. The fears don't disappear with wealth. So I ask myself, how successful do I have to be? Do I need to be Alex Hormozi to give advice on building wealth? And do I have to have $2 million, $5 million, or maybe $50 million? Or maybe when I'm financially free, when I have 10 houses, what is enough? So don't get me wrong, I really am enjoying my life. But my inner critic still compares me to people like Ali Abdaal and tells me there are more successful people than you are. But are they really more successful? And when I saw that coaching video with Joe Hudson, who I really admire and absolutely recommend you to check out his channel, I realized even more that the most successful people are also struggling with the same fears we all have. So again, I ask myself, how successful do I need to be? Why not being happy with what I already have? Because I know from the past that when I hit a certain goal, I always striving for the next thing. So it never feels enough, right? And it's this inner critic that a lot of people are having, and it keeps a lot of people stuck, or even so stuck that they won't start because they are afraid of that voice. So here's the one thing that changed everything for me. I have reframed my story to this. I'm building success on my own terms, and money is just one measurement. The successful people I studied all learned to reframe their inner voice inside their head, to reframe those fears. And instead of letting fear paralyze them, they use it as fuel. So I'm qualified not because I'm perfect, but because I'm still persisting through those struggles, still growing while experiencing those fears. And to be honest, there will always be people who are way ahead of me, right? But my journey with ups and downs makes me more relatable and more helpful to others facing similar challenges. So the one thing I learned is this. You have to learn to reframe your inner voice, because if you are not aware of those thoughts and you don't learn to use them in the right way, you will manifest exactly what you fear. You will stay stuck and never get the life you deserve. And no, it's never too late. So become aware of your inner critic or that negative voice, that pattern that you have learned from your dad in the past, for example. And the best thing you can give yourself when that voice is destructive is to unlearn those patterns. Because when those voices can make you broke, that same voice can also make you a millionaire. The only thing you have to do is to reframe that voice over and over again and stay conscious about that voice inside your head. How are you talking to yourself? And is this voice destructive and keeping you small, or is this voice talking like a millionaire? Alright guys, thank you for watching. I love you all, and let me know in the comments below what voice you have at this moment. Looking forward to hearing from you, and see you in the next video.